First of all, Ernest, I would like to start off by giving a shout out to FYF Sports Debates Podcast. I really love that podcast. I really do.
FYF Sports, man. In Lamont, we back live. Lakers versus Clippers. Game of the day. Got a lot of playoff implications in this game. We got our NBA live stream today. Of course, we're going to have our sponsored music going. A salute to everybody that's been sending us beats, been sending us music to use for the streams. Definitely appreciate you guys. It's FYF Sports. But, man, we got the game going. Make sure you spam up the chat. Let us know who you got winning this game and why. We got two teams that have been playing much different basketball as of late. But, hey, as it stands right now, the Clippers are up. They up this one. Lakers off to a sluggish start. The Lakers coming off a close game last night in Utah. A game in Utah that they made much more difficult than I thought it should have been. But they pull out the win nonetheless. As the Lakers get the bucket right there. 80 starting off the game. 1 or 2 from the field. 10-3. Man. What type of game does this need to be for the Clippers to win? Is this a half court type of game? Is this a speed 'em up type of game? How do the Lakers need to play to win this game? And can you trust the Lakers in the fourth quarter? Because it almost is starting to feel like no matter what type of lead the Lakers build up, the other team always finds a way to come back. Maybe not always come back and get the win, especially as of late, but they always give up. They're very casual late game, and it's been costing them. And will it cost them tonight? And then when we talk about the Clippers, can they find scoring outside of Kawhi Leonard? Russell Westbrook, who's put together some really good games thus far. Can he be big tonight? Eric Gordon with the 3 right there. Lakers call a timeout. Lakers are down 15-3 to start this one right here. Can the Clippers hold on? All right. Short-handed Clipper team, no Paul George. Can they get it done? I'm going to be following the stats all night. I'm going to be peeling up the stats as we get into our first timeout. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and start the music for the night. And again, salute to everybody that sent in music, that sent in beats. It is all appreciated. And again, we definitely appreciate you guys showing your support for the show in that particular manner. It's FYF Sports, y'all. As we in the timeout, make sure you guys support the channel with a Cash App donation. $FYF Sports if you definitely want to donate. If you have any comments that you want me to address, if there's anything that's going on in the NBA that you want me to discuss tonight on today's live stream, make sure you send those questions and those comments into the Cash App, and I will try to get to them, as many as I can. Lakers and Clippers. And Kawhi Leonard, man, a year that I was down on Kawhi Leonard this year. I didn't think he was going to be able to bounce back and have the type of season that he's having. But I guess the Clippers and the Clipper doctors, I guess they are right. Because in holding them out, because in low managing, this is what you want them on the court for. And it's toward the end of the season. In meaningful games like this, you want to have those types of players available, and they did a good job of having them ready. The unfortunate injury to Paul George, that was definitely unfortunate. The good thing out of that injury with Paul George is it wasn't as serious as it looked. Because when I first saw that injury, I said, man, is Paul George out for another season? I thought something structural damage, something bad was going to be happening out of that. Lucky it didn't. I think another storyline for this game, y'all, is Ty Lue and LeBron James. LeBron James has not beaten this Clipper team since he's been in LA. I think they 10-0 versus the Lakers. And the way this game has started, it's looking like it's potentially going to be 11-0. What does Ty Lue know about the Lakers and LeBron James that other teams don't seem to be able to figure out? What's going on there? Another talking point right there. Can the Lakers get their first win? Much needed at that. Because remember, the difference, this game means a lot. Because both of these teams can get up to as high as the 5th seed, but they both can drop to the 9th or 10th with a week left in the season. So this game means a lot for both teams. Clippers, who have coming off a ton of rest. Lakers coming off a game, like I said, a game last night that they made much more tougher than it should have been. I'm about to pull the game up right now, man. See the ebbs and flows of it. I'm going to put a poll down there in the chat, man. Y'all going to have to let me know who y'all got winning this game. And let's see if we can predict the game's high score. Kawhi Leonard's off to a great start. Will it be LeBron? I think Anthony Davis needs to be that player. And then the guy who just scored 15-6, I think D'Angelo Russell. With Russ comes back with a 3, 18-6. Will we see Russell Westbrook rock the baby tonight? And will he get the dub versus the Lakers, man? Another bucket right there. LeBron, first bucket of the night. Down 10, 18-8. And again, salute to everybody pulling up to FYF Sports tonight, man. Russell Westbrook with another bucket right there. Lakers with the ball. It's starting to feel like a fast-paced game. Already 20 points. The Lakers have been atrocious in the first half. Defensively, they've been able to stay with teams, scoring the ball. They have not done a good job of getting stops early in games. And again, salute to everybody pulling up to FYF Sports, man. I'm going to get to all the comments right now. I got some stuff loading on my screen. So, again, if I'm missing your comments right now on the screen, I do apologize. I'll be getting the comments here in a second. We just going to allow the game to ride. We're going to rock out to some of the music. And then, like I said, when your comments and questions start pouring in through the Cash App, we're going to get to it. It's FYF Sports. Hey, y'all, can the Clippers keep playing at this pace? It seems like a fast pace for a team that's short-ended on the bench. And a player like Eric Gordon, who's a little bit older, can fatigue kick in, and it's just a game where we see the Lakers eventually walk down the Clippers because they got off to such a hard start, exhausted, so much energy trying to build this lead. I feel like the Clippers can only win this game if they jump to a 20, 25-point lead and try to coast to a win. I think if they allow this game to be close, I don't see them being competitive, being able to compete in the fourth quarter. Not when the Lakers have Anthony Davis in the post, and not when they have a guy in LeBron James. When he's locked in, he's tough to stop. We'll get to it all, man. I'm going to be putting that poll up. Make sure you guys hit that poll. And again, appreciate everybody that's watching on all other platforms. If you're watching from Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, definitely give a shout out to you guys. Appreciate everybody watching from all platforms. As some of you guys may have seen already, we've been trying to expand out to different platforms. I know some of the people in the chat, I've had a couple guys ask, where you been at? Why ain't you going live? And one of the main reasons is I think YouTube is just becoming a place where it's great to post and create content, but it's not the greatest if you're looking to monetize that content. And there are other places like Roku. There are other places where we, even Rumble, who they've partnered me over there, that I think is going to create a lot of different avenues for us to post quality content at the free throw line right now. Make sure we guys letting us know in the chat, man, who you got winning this conference. And then also, let me know your thoughts on where the Lakers might fall as a seed. We got a few other games going on in the NBA tonight. Did anybody watch that Bulls game? Obviously, the Pelicans going right now. They right in that playoff hunt. You got the Mavericks up 92-88 on the Kings. This is looking like their playoffs hopes have been bleak over the last couple of days. Can they get it back? Clippers with the ball. We're watching this Laker game of the night. Eastern Conference standings are pretty much locked in stone, etched in stone with the top 10 seeds. But when we get to the Western Conference, man, it's looking like we could potentially have a 6-way tie by the time it's all said and done in this Western Conference. What does that look like? Blazers, Damian Lillard, they've shut it down. There are talks that Luka and the Mavericks may also shut it down as well. What are y'all thoughts on that as well? As the Clippers turn the ball over, Mason Plumlee, first turnover of the night. Lakers had a ball. I'm going to get to y'all some of y'all comments in the Cash App. We're going to go ahead and let the beat rock out while you guys are watching the game. And salute to One Cool P in the chat. I see you in there. Salute to Judah. Salute to Ricky E245. Definitely appreciate you guys pulling up. And I see you guys over on Facebook. I'm going to get to all your questions and comments as well. I appreciate you guys over there donating. I'm about to get to all y'all questions as well. As the Lakers have done a good job, if we get to another timeout, the Lakers have done a good job. We saw the Clippers get off to a hot start. But they've done a good job of not allowing this to get away from them. And that's all starting with the defensive side of the ball. Rebounding the ball well on the night, as we see. But I think the big question on the night with the Lakers. Okay, no, I see you over there. No, I believe. Hey, run that shit up, Trace. I believe, like I said, I know at the start of the year, I said I predicted the Lakers to come out of this conference around 4th. Obviously, with injuries withstanding, trades, things not working out, it's looking like the Lakers can probably, realistically, we're talking about get to the 6th seed. I think the Lakers are going to want to avoid the 5th seed, and I think that's where the Lakers are going to be a bit strategic. Salute to Jermaine Bear. He says, "Come on, Reaves." Yeah, Reaves is looking like a guy that's definitely playing for his contract. But I think this is where Reaves needs to be careful, you guys, because I think Reaves' success is contingent on the players around him. He needs a LeBron. He needs an AD. He needs great players around him to have the type of success that he's having. And I believe that if Austin Reaves goes out and chases the check or the contract, I believe that might be the last check or contract that he's able to chase as far as a big payday. I believe that Reaves should get that consistent money with longevity playing up under another superstar. I think he should attach himself to LeBron James and AD as long as he can and go for longevity, looking for that 10, 15-year career. Obviously, we know Bron ain't playing that long, but I think that's what Reaves should pursue. But it's just hard to pass up. It's going to be hard for him to pass up some deal where he might see $65 million on the table, $70 million on the table over the course of 4 years. I'm hearing about $85 million for a player like Austin Reaves. And I believe there's some team that's going to outbid the Lakers for his services. He's become that valuable. Salute to Jermaine Berry. Oh, he's over there watching on the YouTube app. Salute to everybody watching from YouTube. One cool piece says she got the Lakers winning. Hey. It's a crazy game right here.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
Score is 23-18. Make sure you guys are spamming it up in the chat, man. Let me guys know who you got winning this game. And while we're here, and that's because I see a lot of people on Facebook talking about it. And I see some of you guys watching over on Twitch talking about it. Talking about this scoring in the NBA. Oh, let me turn this down a little bit. This scoring explosion that we're seeing in the NBA, y'all. What are y'all thoughts on it? We got the action back. Anthony Davis with another offensive rebound. We got a final score in. Knicks beat the Pacers 138-129. Wizards lose to the Hawks 116-134. Anthony Davis with another bucket right there, 20-25 as the Clippers miss. Anthony Davis again with a defensive rebound. It's looking like this man's about to have another big night if he stays on the glass like this. Norman Powell with the block on Dennis Schroeder right there. We got the Grizzlies. They down 3 to the New Orleans Pelicans, a team that's been surging as of late. Can the Pelicans hold on to keep their playoff hopes alive? As D'Angelo Russell knocks down another 3, pulling within 2. Can the Lakers pull off the win, their first win in the LeBron James era in LA? Can they get their first win against this Clipper team with Kawhi Leonard? Rebuilt with Russell Westbrook, but minus Paul George. Salute to George Henderson. I see you in there. He says, this not historic. Stop it with the BS. And George Henderson, what I'm talking about with historic is I'm talking about the scoring explosion that we've seen throughout the NBA this year. That is historic. This scoring explosion is historic. All of the guys that have been able to score 40 points, all of the guys that are averaging 30 points per game, all of the players that are averaging over 20 a game. And when I talk about this historic scoring explosion, I'm continuously hearing this sentiment. Yeah, I know, but George Henderson says no defense. And George Henderson, I think that's a very casual approach to understanding what's going on. Because I don't think it's because of a lack of defense. I think it all goes back. I think it all goes back to players like a Kobe Bryant, players like a Michael Jordan. right? When we talk about how many players talk about they looked up to Kobe Bryant, I think those guys created a whole bunch of mini-me's that are just elite scorers. And even against the best defenses in the league, there's not much you can do to slow them down. The Lakers close the gap. Clippers do a good job of building that lead right back up. 26-32. Lakers with the ball. Lakers are out rebounding the Clippers. Anthony Davis has been dominant on both sides of the ball, offensive glass and defensive glass. D'Angelo Russell, who looks to be on fire, knocks down another bucket right there. 28-32, cuts the lead to 4. And like I said, George Henderson, a lot of people say no defense. I don't think it's that. Because when I look at the defenses being employed in the NBA, there are just as many good defensive teams as there's ever been in the league. The quality of defense has not changed. I just think when we talk about the best defensive era of all time, which I think was the early 2000s, I think there's even an explanation for that when you talk about that. Ton of good teams defensively, but I think the defenses all got better because the NBA gave all of these teams an additional weapon. As Troy Brown knocks down the 3, 31-34, which basically the NBA said, here you guys go. You can have the zone back. And before any team was able to adjust to it, you have all of these newfound defenses with a completely opened up defensive playbook to utilize while most teams hadn't adjusted. And we saw that change as teams said, okay, if you're going to bring this zone back, then we're going to bring in a new wave of elite shooters. And as this new wave of elite shooters came in, a whole bunch of them came in. And I think we've seen this imbalance in the NBA within almost every era of basketball. OJ Weston says, yes, because of Kobe. Thank you. I'm not blaming Kobe. I'm saying, how many players do we see out there wanting to replicate his ability to score the basketball? How many players do we see out there wanting to replicate his work ethic as far as working on their offensive game, night in and night out? We're talking 8 to 10 hours in the gym a day over the summer, simply working on offense. I mean, you got to think, when these players are by themselves, they can, and with one trainer, you can work on offense all day. You really can't work on defense in the offseason. And you can only truly work on defense once all your guys get in. You see what you got. If your team's able to stay healthy, as a unit, you should be able to defend. But even one great defender can't make one team defensively elite. It takes an entire team. Lou says, I disagree. George Henderson's, yeah, everybody wants to be like Golden State. Well, again, George Henderson, everybody wants to be like Golden State because Golden State has won 4 championships. It's a formula that's proven to work with KD or without KD. It's a proven formula. So why not try to replicate a proven formula? I mean, we saw how close just 3-point shooting alone got the Houston Rockets. They only ran into a better team, which was the Golden State Warriors. It's completely changed the game. Eastgate says Schroeder living in the paint but can't cash in. But you know what? If he's consistently getting there, that's not going to be good for the Clippers late game. I mean, you're not going to be able to survive with a point guard continuously breaking into the middle of your defense all night. Something's going to give, and is usually not in favor of the defense. But I'm liking the pace of this game, y'all. I like the pace of this game. It's going to make for a great game. I'm curious to see what the second quarter looks like. As the first quarter ends, Lakers down 6. As that first quarter ends, I'm curious to see if the Lakers make an effort to slow the pace of this game down. Both teams sitting at a record of 41-38 as we see. 1-6, 1-7. This game is going to basically change a lot of things for both teams as they go into the end of the season. OJ Weston says the 3 ball is important in today's game, but it's too many teams like the Celtics who live or die by the 3. I don't believe the Celtics live or die by the 3. I think the Celtics live or die by ISO ball. They're isocentric because of their 2 stars, right? They don't live or die by 3s, but they do live or die based on bad shot selection. And whenever teams are able to take away their best looks, they struggle to hit their secondary reads. It just so happens that their secondary reads happen to be 3-point shots to Horford in the corner or Marcus Smart or players like that who are streaky at best at the 3-point line. He says the pace of the game nowadays causes more injuries. I don't know if I agree with that as well. I think what was creating more injuries is that these guys are coming into the league with more and more miles on their bodies. When you talk about some of these kids who play in these AAU circuits, I mean, playing 4 and 5 games a day throughout the summers, playing high school basketball in the prep circuit. If you went to a preps team, I mean, you could find yourself playing 40 games in a high school season. And that's not even counting the playoffs. And then we talk about college. And then they get to the league if they can get there. They're putting miles on themselves. They're putting miles. They come in more seasoned, especially offensively, but they also have more miles. So when we see guys breaking down like Alonzo Ball, I don't think Lonzo Ball's just simply breaking down because he's just injury prone. I think he's breaking down because when you look at his track record of basketball, he's put LeVar Ball and they put a ton of miles on him. They put a ton of miles on those knees, and without the consistent effort to keep them up to par, man, you're gonna run into injuries. For Clippers at the free throw line. George Henderson says no excuse. We got Jawan Gorham. He says, man, LA got to tighten up. The Clippers hot as hell right now from the 3. Yeah, and we've been seeing this. The Lakers are prone, as good as they are defensively, they are prone to giving up the 3. They don't put a lot of effort into contesting 3-point shots. And a guy like Norman Powell, when you look at him, over the last month, he's been struggling. It's a team like the Lakers defensively that can get him back going. Just with the understanding that they struggle to defend at a high level from the 3-point line. OJ Weston says, how often do these guys practice today? Do they take their weight training seriously? Well, throughout the regular season, that's on coaches. Coaches dictate that. And coaches generally dictate practice schedules based on their personnel. If they got a team full of older players, of course, they're not going to practice as much. Rest was going to be much more important. If you got a team full of young players, if you're talking about the Pistons and the Rockets and the Utah Jazz, of course, they're probably going to be practicing a lot more. All right. As the Lakers at one point in time in this game were able to cut the lead down. Unfortunately, they go back down 10, but then the Lakers are able to knock a shot down right there. Malik Beasley with his first 2-point shot on the day, 41-33. Clippers with the ball. You guys spam up the chat. Salute. Make sure you guys let me know who you got winning this game. Salute to Lakers all day. Dope. He says, do you like Ham as the coach of the Lakers? Norman Powell knocks down the 3. Do I like Ham? No. I like Ham, and I like the concept of him being the head coach of a team. I don't believe that Darvin Ham is the right team coach for this Laker team. I thought the Lakers should have went after a more seasoned coach, preferably somebody that's had experience coaching LeBron James. I thought their number 1 target should have been Mike Brown. And I don't care if you would have had to buy him to get him there. But that's the problem. I think they went after a name that sounded flashy, and they ultimately ended up experiencing the growing pains of having a new coach. I think if you get Mike Brown in there, you bring in some good defensive assistants, I think they're much better off. And then he's much more creative offensively. He says, I got the Clips at home. Well, it's actually both their homes. They just changed the hardwood on the floor. We'll see how it goes. It looked like the Clippers are not having an issue scoring the ball as they go back up 10 right there, and the Lakers aren't doing much about it. Where is the resistance? All right. I believe when I saw last night, shot selection for the Lakers is poor. It seems like when LeBron James since he's been back, their ball movement has been bad. They struggle to move the ball, and it's been a ton of hold the ball on the wing, wait for AD to post up, dump it in, and see what he can give us. As opposed to prior to LeBron James coming back from his injury, we saw a ton of ball movement. We saw Austin Reaves facilitating with the ball, right? We saw guys like Troy Brown, especially Schroeder. We saw these guys picking defenses apart offensively, especially with that Schroeder AD pick and roll. As LeBron James with a turnover right there, Powell with the steal, and it looks like the Clips are rolling right now as they score another bucket. Terrence Mann with the layup, and they go up 14 off the turnover. Ray DeRazzle says, "Go Clippers." Salute to Ray DeRazzle, man. One of the long time subscribers. They forced the Lakers to call a timeout. So again, once a game, the Lakers got down early, come back. Clippers have done a good job withstanding these Laker runs, and they come back. Salute to everybody, man. It's FYF Sports, man. Lakers versus Clippers NBA live stream. Make sure you come join us here for the NBA playoffs, man. We're going to be doing our NBA playoff lives, and we definitely going to be following all the play-in games. So make sure you tune in. So if you haven't done so already, like, comment, and subscribe. Because, man, we're going to be giving you some of the best NBA playoff coverage out. Obviously, probably not going to be opening the panel up today. Or more than likely, we're probably not really going to have open panels throughout the entire playoffs. Because, again, I want you guys to be completely locked in on playoff basketball. And we're not going to get distracted by sidebar discussions on LeBron and Jordan and Kobe and all these other. We're going to be locked in on this year's playoffs. We spent enough time with all these other inconsequential debates, man. We got to lock in on what's going on. Jeffrey Bearfield says, Lamont, that was LeBron's problem in his stint in Cleveland. He holds the ball with no ball movement. And I've been noticing that. Again, it was very obvious last night, and it's been very obvious this year, especially since he's come back. There is an offense to be ran. We know that there's an offense to be ran because we watched Schroeder, we watched Reaves run it perfectly when LeBron was out, and that ball was moving. Guys were flying up the floor. The scoring was more diversified. We saw Vanderbilt with some double-digit games. We definitely saw Russell. Schroeder had some great games. AD had monster games. Reaves was having monster games, and it just looked like they were flowing. And they were also defending much better. And so, again, with all of the pros that come with having LeBron James, an older LeBron James on this roster, there's also some cons that come with it as well. And this is why we see the Lakers thrive in transition, playing fast, because LeBron James is essentially unguardable in transition. But when they slow it down to a bore in the half court, it almost looks like he's killing the flow of the offense. And I could be wrong there. And I'm not one of those people just to be criticizing and critiquing and trying to overdo it with LeBron James. But just watching last night, that was bad. And then also, he's been very casual late game. They'll get down late game, and he's casual with the possessions. He's casual with the ball. It doesn't seem like – it seems like sometimes he thinks he have a win. They'll take their foot off the gas. They're not as aggressive. And it shows. I'm going to drop the Cash App in the chat, man. Once again, definitely appreciate you guys pulling up the FYF Sports. Hope you enjoy all of the beats and the music brought to you by the subscribers. Can the Lakers cut into this lead once again? Can they cut into this lead? Rui Hachimura at the free throw line. Another guy whose playing time has been a bit inconsistent, but his defense has been pretty solid. And when will Mo Bamba be healthy? They bring him in, he looks great, but as soon as he gets back, he's injured once again. What's going on with Mo Bamba, you guys? All right. All the hype and the rave over the Mo Bamba trade, but he has not been on the floor to produce as the Clippers get another bucket. Zubac, the over-under on FanDuel Sportsbook. Could he eclipse 10 points? I said he could against this Laker defense. It looks like he's almost there with another bucket. Lakers with the ball. Clippers are shooting 61% on the night, while the Lakers are shooting less than 42%. LeBron James with the steal on Bones Highland. Can the Lakers cut into this lead before halftime? D'Angelo Russell with the turnover. Nicholas Batum with the steal. We got Jared in the chat. Jared says, Dejan, he's my GOAT, but this looks to be heading for a choke. What looks to be heading for a choke? What are you talking about? Lou says the Lakers are, at best, a dangerous playing team. You can say that, but again, the realistic possibility is that if they are able to come out with the win tonight, they'll probably be the 6th seed at worst. Probably. Now, could they fall to the 7th? I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. Lakers with 8 turnovers already in this game. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. That cannot be a trend that they keep up, or they will not have an opportunity to win this game. You cannot turn that ball over against a Clipper team that is this good at scoring the basketball. Lakers able to get the ball back under 7 minutes to go. Clippers with a big lead, y'all. Clippers with a big lead. Can they maintain? I think the Lakers' goal right now needs to be cutting into this lead, maybe get it to single digits before half. If they can do that, I would consider that a win for this Laker team. But if they allow it to grow, I think they could potentially write their death sentence if they don't cut into this lead early. How do you guys feel about Anthony Davis finally playing a back-to-back game? Right? So much criticism getting thrown out there by media. How do you guys feel about him finally playing this back-to-back? You said this game is, but Jared, here's the problem, Jared. What if the Lakers win this game? Is that a Kawhi Leonard choke? Because they're essentially in the same position, same record. And one team has been playing good as of late. One team has lost 2 games back-to-back. And we just watched this Laker team down big to Dallas come back and get the win. (56-42), 14-point lead for the Clippers. Clippers are the home team in this one. It's FYF Sports, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Appreciate everybody watching from Facebook. Appreciate everybody watching from Rumble, Twitch, all of the platforms that we're streaming from right now. And then I definitely appreciate my subscribers on YouTube as well. I see you guys right there. I got your comments pulled up. If you have any specific questions that you want to ask me on the show live, make sure that you hit the Cash App and put your question in there, $ FYF Sports.
Ups and downs, but I never turned back. Kept that hustle always on the attack. Making moves, never crawling no track. No shortcuts, had to face my fears. Learn some lessons and shed some tears, but I persevered through the blood. Sweet and shattered big. Started with nothing, had to fight for every inch. But the clip made me stronger. the climb and struggle, all that shit. So I keep on grinding, gotta make it to the top. And I keep on pushing until the game stop. From the pits of hell, I was above. I'm a self-made man, can nobody hold me down.
And Zubac seems to always have and save his best for the Lakers. And this is another game where the Lakers, and especially a guy like Wenyen Gabriel, who struggles to guard players like Zubac, and it's starting to show. Wenyen Gabriel misses the three, untimely at that. Kawhi Leonard with the rebound. And again, salute to everybody in the chat. I see you there, Daryl Anderson, Lou, Jared Thomas, Jermaine Berry, OJ Wesson, Myron, the comment guy. Salute to Myron as well, big time Laker fan, as we have another timeout right there. As we see the percentages on the night, I mean, the Clippers are just shooting the life out of the ball, shooting well over 60% from the field, from 2-point range and 3-point range. It looks like the Clippers are in the driver's seat. Another game that's looking like it's getting away from this Laker team. They're definitely going to have to play from behind in this one. And make sure y'all let me know in the comments as well. I see you guys over there on Facebook. What's the game of the day for tomorrow, man? We're going to be back doing this tomorrow. What is the game of the day for tomorrow? What game should we cover? Told you we're going to get back to our NBA live streams. We are headed into playoff basketball. It's the best time of year. We're talking about we just had an epic NCAA tournament, men's and women's. All right. We saw Angel Reese and the LSU Tigers just completely run through the NCAA tournament. And then with the men, we saw UConn have one of the most dominant tournament runs ever in getting to the Final Four and then winning the championship. Lou says, what Westbrook looking like in this game? Westbrook been solid. A few turnovers here and there. Nothing to run home about. But I think with Russell Westbrook, I think this is a good sign. The one thing you didn't want to see with Russell Westbrook is you don't want to see him coming out pushing and pressing the issue just because he's trying to have a revenge game against the Lakers. You just want to see him come out, play his game, find ways to get others involved. As you see his numbers right there, he has 3 assists. Right now, Norman Powell's leading the team in points with 13 points. D'Angelo Russell is leading in points and assists for the Lakers, while LeBron James and Anthony Davis are having a quiet night. And I think it's simply because they're rushing shots, 1. And 2, it's because LeBron James has rejoined this team, and the offense has become extremely stagnant. And it just does not look like they're doing a good job of moving the ball. All right. Defensively, from what I've seen when LeBron has been in the game, they're not doing a good job in transition defense. And lastly, one of my biggest pet peeves is they're crying to the refs too much. They're crying to the refs for more and more help when at the end of the day, refs don't save you. Get playing and being aggressive wins you calls. They may miss a few calls here or there, but generally the team that's most aggressive gets the majority of the calls. The Lakers all year have been the more aggressive team in a lot of matchups, which is why they get a lot of free throw attempts, but not in this game right here. And they're not defending. When you got a team like the Clippers shooting 64% from the 2-point range, 64% from the 3-point range, how do you expect to win with a team shooting those numbers? Those numbers simply correlate to laziness on defense. And the Lakers can blame it. They can blame it on being fatigued and all that stuff all they want. At the end of the day, they got to find a way to win these back-to-back close games. All right. Salute to J Mar. Salute to Young Goat. Salute to Tackable Pond. I see you guys in there. Salute to Bear24. Edward Mora. I see you there in the chat. Salute. He says the Lakers are gassed from last night, but those excuses, I'm just tired of those excuses. I'm tired of hearing that these teams are gassed. LeBron and AD have not been playing back-to-backs. They should be fresh. And if they didn't make that game against the Jazz much harder than it was, and which just got it over in regulation, They would be coming off an overtime game. If they're fatigued, it's all because of themselves. They could have easily just went up 25 on the Utah Jazz early in the fourth quarter, and they 2 stars could have set. And all they starters could have set and just coasted the win out. They wanted to go play around, chuck up bad shots, make the game more difficult than what it was, and they found themselves in a neck-and-neck overtime game with the Utah Jazz. These are all of these things, as much as we want to blame other factors, it all ties back into the Laker players. It's all a product of things that they could have fixed themselves. Anthony Davis with his turnover right there. I think it's a little bit of both, Jamar. I think at this point in the year, I think everybody's gassed. It's definitely a fact. Are they gassed? Yes. But this is a must-win game. This is a must-win game. Get it done. It's just time to start getting it done, right? The Lakers, for the majority of the season, have load managed their way into losses. They've let their fan base down. It's time for them just to start finding a way to get wins. They put themselves in a situation due to injuries and wanting to load manage. Imagine this. This game wouldn't be as significant if AD would have just said against the Rockets a week ago, I'm going to play and we're going to get this win. But what did they do? They load manage. They loaf. And games that they should have won, they've lost. So now they're in this situation right here. So it's hard for me to feel sorry for them and say they're tired when I've seen over the last month opportunities for them to not be in this situation. No, you good, Jamar. I understand. We got Devontae in here. Clippers need this game more. They do, because they're on a 2-game losing streak. But they both need this game. This game is extremely important to both teams, y'all. Let's not act like it's not a lot of significance tied into this game. From this point forward, outside of the Phoenix Suns game, the Lakers' schedule is pretty much a cakewalk. They play Utah again, and by that point in time, I don't see Utah playing anybody of significance to even go out there and compete. But I believe the Lakers have the easier schedule on the way out. But they need this game because it gives you such an advantage. So when you can beat a team that you're competing against in the standings, you knock them up in the loss column while you go up in the win column. I mean, that's a big difference. And it could potentially buy you valuable leeway. Let's say the Lakers want to finesse. If they get to that 5 spot, but yet they like that 6 spot matchup a little bit better. When you start winning these games, you give yourself cushion to kind of play with where you land in the standings. If they can finesse it properly, I think the Lakers would want to be the 6 and play Sacramento with the 3-6 matchup. I don't believe they want to get caught up in a 4-5 matchup with the Phoenix Suns. I don't believe that. I don't think anybody wants to play Kevin Durant in the first round of the playoffs. This Phoenix Sun team without Kevin Durant was already a tough out. Salute to Cho Boy. I see you in there. He says the GOAT won't let him lose. Okay, Cho Boy. Lou says, and salute to Lou, man. Definitely appreciate Lou, man. I'll be seeing you all through the comments, man. Giving us that good engagement, man. Appreciate you, Lou. Lou says Westbrook is the X factor for the Clippers to have a deep playoff run. He is. But for them to have a deep playoff run, they got to get Paul George back. And that's just that. I mean, this team right now, they are reeling for a reason. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now for a reason. And that's because Paul George is not there. Tackable Pond says he wants the Lakers versus the Nuggets in the first round. The Nuggets are reeling right now, too. The Nuggets are really struggling to find their way. Edward Morris says nobody wants to see the Clippers, Suns, Warriors, or Lakers in the first round, but you'll have to see them at some point. So get the wins. Worry about seeding later. I agree. I mean, I agree to a certain degree, but what I'm saying is if you can control your destiny to a certain degree, because we saw this last year with the Bucks and how they kind of manipulated their seeding so they could play the Bulls in the first round. I mean, if you can make these early rounds early and you save all the energy that you exert out for later rounds, that makes a difference. When you don't have to go through these hellified death matches with other teams that can take it to 7 games, if you can play a team that you know you can beat in 4 or 5 games, take it. Take the road with less resistance. I'm telling you right now, there is no reward for winning a tough first round matchup. There's no additional reward that you get for taking a good team to 7 games and moving on. A win is a win. And if you can find a matchup that's more favorable to you, get that favorable matchup and just get to the second round. Because you just got to win, however you got to win. Salute. Real Takes Over Fake Debates, man. Make sure y'all go check out Real Takes Over Fake Debates. SB Talk Sports, man. Go follow the man on TikTok. Man, doing big things over there. Definitely follow his channel over here on YouTube, man. Great content creator. As the Clippers go up 66-52, the Lakers are not cutting into this lead. And I've always felt, like I said, if they can't cut into this lead early into the second quarter, they might have cooked themselves. He says, Jared says, Lakers need to hold that 6th seed to get Sacramento. LeBron against the young Kings would run them through. I agree. You take a young team into the playoffs and you slow the game down, they're in trouble. J-Mar says, I don't believe the Suns are the threat everyone is making them. Warriors, Lakers, Clippers beat them in round 1. I don't believe so. And like I said, in the first round, you want to take the road of least resistance. As the Clippers go up 68-52, Russell Westbrook knocks down the bucket right there. These 10 turnovers by the Lakers is killing them, and they cannot make a shot. And the Clippers are not giving them second chance points. Zubac is on the glass. Hey, I'm free tomorrow. Real Takes Over Fake Debates, man. I'm free tomorrow. I ain't got nothing going on other than I'm probably just doing a game of the day stream. So tomorrow probably be the best day if you're trying to catch me. You might be able to catch me Friday morning. I don't know if we'll have practice Friday because it's Good Friday. You know, we are a Christian school, so we'll see how that goes. Another turnover right there for the Lakers. He says, J-Mar says, no depth, no size, no chip for the Suns. But you know what, though? If they play the Lakers, that's definitely a first-round win. I think they provide the Lakers with a ton of matchup issues. Clippers go up close to 20 points, up 19 as we go into halftime. Darvin Ham versus Ty Lue. I know we were talking earlier in the stream. Somebody asked me, how do I feel about Darvin Ham as the head coach of the Lakers? And I said this from the beginning. I said they needed to get a voice in there that could take control of the locker room, not let LeBron James dominate the locker room, but also somebody who's had experience coaching LeBron James. I think they would have been better off just elevating Phil Handy to the top spot, but that didn't happen. They brought in a guy like Darvin Ham with absolutely no coaching experience, and we see the woes that they're going through. I thought they should have went after Mike Brown. I thought they should have went after Mike Woodson over at IU. Something that is a stronger presence in the locker room. They could have even went after a Nate McMillan. You never know, man. But the Clippers 5-5 in their last 10. They 2-3 without Paul George. Lakers are 7-3. Which team can pull ahead in this tight Western Conference race? Both of them sit at 41-38. In tonight's game, the Lakers are reeling. They're shooting 46% from the 2-point range, 43% from the 3-point range. But the Clippers' numbers are through the roof. The Lakers obviously competing on the glass, but those 11 turnovers by the Lakers, that's absolutely killing them on the night. Kawhi Leonard leads the Clippers with 17, Russell with 11. Westbrook 4 assists, Russell with 4 assists as well. And the Clippers have just kind of dominated the pace of this game. They've dominated the pace of this game, y'all. Has the start of this game helps you now determine who's going to win this game? If so, let me know in the chat. Again, it's FYF Sports, man. We appreciate everybody pulling up tonight, man. This is the game of the day coverage. We're going to be doing this all throughout the playoffs, man. Look forward to having you guys here, especially as we get close to the play-in. And if you guys have music or beats that you create on your own that's not copyrighted and you want us to feature it on the show, email us at fyfsportsdebates@gmail.com. Send us your music, your creative content. And if you have anything that you want to advertise on the live stream, don't hesitate to reach out to us as well. fyfsportsdebates@gmail.com. Send us an email and we'll let you know what it takes to get featured here on FYF Sports. Yeah, you know what I think I should do? I think I should just have a stream, y'all. I think I should just do a stream where I'm just going over all comments. Because some of the comments y'all leave are absolutely some of the funniest comments that we leave. Obviously, we got BG in the comments. He's always in the comments. I haven't seen him commenting as of late. But we got BG in the comments. He's always putting long 10-page paragraphs that he copies out of Google. And none of it makes sense. It all just sounds like excuses for something. But some of y'all's comments are crazy. Like on the fringe of being delusional, man. And who you guys got winning this MVP? It just seems like it don't matter who they give it to. Somebody, some side, some fan base is going to be crying and complaining about it. It don't matter, really. All right. It don't matter that Giannis just dropped 50. If he misses the game against Jokic, he can't be MVP. Y'all, a lot of the fans make what Damian Lillard said about this championship culture more true every day. Make it more and more true. I'm going to give you guys a game check because there's a lot of good games on tonight. I'm going to give you guys a score check on these games. And also, make sure you guys, I'm going to be putting it in the chat as well. Oh, you sign up for Prize Picks, man. Let me get all this in here. We saw the Pelicans and Grizzlies go into overtime tonight. That was a great game right there. All right, I'm going to give you guys a quick score check on all the games of the night. All right. Obviously, we got this Clipper game. Clippers are up 71-52 on the Lakers. Important swing game for both teams. Who can pull out the victory? We got the Nets beating the Pistons 123-108. Big game for the Nets as they look like they're going to be maybe not a first round, maybe not the quick first round exit that many teams thought they would be. We got the Knicks beating the Pacers 138-129. Wizards lose to the Hawks 116-134. Raptors lose to the Celtics 93-97. The Bulls take the L to the Bucks 105-92. The Pelicans pull a close game out against the Grizzlies 138-131. And the Mavericks are finally able to string together a win. They get the win versus the Kings, 123-119. And this is a Sacramento King team that has already clinched their spot in the playoffs. Let me get to the chat. Yeah, I'll salute to everybody. One Cool P, I see you back. Just Blaze, appreciate you pulling up for the night. We got Just Blaze in there. He says, my Warriors got to win Friday against the Kings. That's going to be another swing game. J Mar says the Sixers are beating the Nets in 5. Yes, I do believe the Sixers beat the Nets. What I'm saying is, for a team like the Nets that is older and that's injury prone, J Mar, they don't want to find themselves in a 6 or 7 game series with a team that they know they're better than. And I think that's when it starts to take a toll on teams like the Sixers, who should get to the NBA Finals. When they start finding themselves in weird predicaments where they have to exacerbate more energy against weaker teams, weaker competition than is required. Jared Thomas says the Grizzlies seem flawed. Yeah, well, they are a flawed team. They definitely are a flawed team. And without Steven Adams in the paint protecting them, with him being out with injury, I believe, they don't look the same defensively. Oh, facts, Young Goat. He says whoever goes 1-1, those teams are done. That's facts. Once again, y'all, we on FYF Sports. The game is on halftime. Game of the day, Lakers versus Clippers. One of the more important swing games as we get into the NBA play-in. These two teams that are playing right now can get up as high as the 5th seed. But they both can drop to the 10th spot as well if they aren't careful. I think this is an important swing game for both teams. This game can swing the momentum for the Clippers, who've lost 2 in a row, or it can propel the Lakers and this Laker team that's won multiple games in a row. But they're not going to win this game if D'Angelo Russell is your leading scorer and assist man. They got to find a way to get LeBron James and AD involved, and they got to find a way to get a win without blaming or using the excuse that they're fatigued or tired. This Laker fan base is just asking for one win. Can the Lakers get it done? Down 20 at half is not looking good. Jared Thomas says this reminds me of LeBron in 2011. No, it doesn't, Jared. As much as y'all want to connect everything back to 2011, this is not 2011. Oh, man, we got Knicks will be 2026 champions. He says, don't be surprised if the Knicks come out the East. I would be surprised. Right? Very good team. But I just don't think they have the offensive firepower to compete with the best playoff teams. Which I don't think the Knicks could beat the Bulls right now in a playoff series. I mean, there's a ton of teams right now that I would pick over the Knicks. But, yeah, I just can't see the Knicks beating any serious contender in the East. Sixers, Bucks, all these teams, just don't see it. He says, I disagree. The Knicks are top 5 in offense. They might be. I don't know. They might be. I just don't think they're good enough. I just don't see that Knicks team and Julius Randle being a threat to anybody in the playoffs. If you have a matchup, they're the easiest team to scheme against in a 7-game series. They might be able to pull off 1 or 2 wins, but they're not going to beat you in 7. Donovan says Edwards says Donovan is used to a Western Conference playoffs. I see him going off with a team like the Cavs. I do. I like the Cavs. It's hard to put a pinpoint on what they're missing. I mean, if I had to just throw something out there, I just think they're missing a defensive wing. And I thought they should have really, really went after a guy like Jay Crowder. Because I think that's where they're really weak at. It's FYF Sports, you guys, man. Definitely appreciate you guys being here. When we getting back to our NBA playoff live streams, the play-in is right around the corner. Will we have another epic play-in format? All right. Will any of these teams that are fighting for this 6th spot fall into the play-in? And who's going to be the first top 5 seed to fall? It's FYF Sports, man. We waiting for this halftime to move on. All right. While you guys are waiting, man, make sure you support the channel with a Cash App donation, $ FYF Sports, man. We are going to be dropping a lot more content on the channel, man. Y'all don't want to miss it. We got more player interviews coming. Obviously, the interview with Scott Williams, 3-time NBA champion of the Chicago Bulls, that was epic. There was a lot of people that didn't like his sentiments or talking points, primarily because he didn't say or use the fake narratives talking about some of these greats of the 90s. He said it like it was. George Henderson says that shows how weak the league is. A play-in, well, again, it's not weak. The reasoning behind the play-in is very smart by Adam Silver. The reasoning behind it is so that we're still watching and engaged at this part in the season. Because a lot of times in years past, this part of the season, we know what the playoff format is going to look like. Usually 1 through 7. In some years, you might have a team fighting for that 8th spot. But those days are over now. Now you open the door for teams 7 through 10 to fight to get in the playoffs. And so now you make everything leading up to the play-in relevant. Teams got to try to fight tooth and nail just to get to a certain record and get in. And the amount of money that teams make off just simply get into the playoffs is what makes it worth it. Edward Moore says, I'm out, but I'm going to donate. Love the stream. Wife just finished cooking. Hey, salute, Edward. I already know how it is, man. Definitely go get your food in, man. Would love to have you back on one of the streams where we actually open the live panel up and we have people on to cook, man. So, again, you're welcome back anytime, man. Salute to Edward Moore, one of the new subscribers to the channel. We are back in action, man. Clippers with the ball. Can the Lakers make a run? The third quarter has been very good to the Lakers, y'all. The third quarters have been good for the Lakers, which is unlike especially last year. Third quarters used to haunt this team. All right, but they're not off to the greatest start right now if they let Zubac get to the free throw line and he knocks down one shot already. The Knicks will be 2026 champs, says the Mavs season would be the biggest failure in the last 25 years if not for the possibility of a play-in. That's fine. And that's the beauty of the play-in, you guys, because it opens the door for star talent to get into the playoffs. And this is what the NBA wants. The NBA truly doesn't, they don't really want to see scrub teams at the 8th spot. They want to see a team that's been dealing with injury or turmoil with stars get into the playoffs and maybe get in there and create some type of drama. It creates for more headlines. That's all. Kawhi Leonard knocks down the 3 as the Clippers extend this lead 76-52. Salute to One Cool P. She says she has a $10 Cash App challenge, man. Hey, that would be much appreciated, you guys, because like I said, you know, the funds that we raising tonight, obviously, this is going to go right back into the GCU men's basketball team, man. We are trying desperately to raise funds for for our trip coming up to Baltimore, Maryland, man. Hey, you guys can definitely donate to support the GCU men's club basketball team if you would like. Anything you give is much appreciated, man. Again, salute to One Cool P once again. And right now, this game is basically equal, you guys. Rebounds are equal. Turnovers are close to being equal. Main difference, Lakers can't defend the three-point line, let alone defend at all, while the Clippers are actually defending, holding the Lakers to a low field goal percentage. Only difference in the game. Can the Lakers make a run to get back in the game? They're playing essentially a home game. If you guys hear the crowd, they have a ton of fans there. Can the Lakers get going? We'll see if they can get the job done. And again, salute to everybody coming to FYF Sports, man. I'm about to go grab some links, man. I want to make sure that I put a few of these links in the chat, man. But we got a game on our hands, y'all. I don't believe this game is a foregone conclusion just yet. I believe this is a game where the Lakers can make a run. They got 9 minutes in the third to cut into this lead, maybe get it down to single digits. You got to try to start winning this game in increments, and it does not start with bad shots. You're talking about Anthony Davis, who's 3 of 7 from the field. That's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. It's a crazy game, man. Come on, y'all. I need y'all thoughts. Especially y'all on Facebook over there. Y'all the ones be asking for it. Game of the day for tomorrow, y'all. What's the game of the day for tomorrow? Let me know. Some of these comments, man. Definitely appreciate you guys. I got a few comments here on Facebook I want to get to. He says help from the ref. Darvingham needs to bench LeBron. Dude is choking. Jared says when your start is playing bad, you eventually got to bench him. You know what, Jared Thomas, you got a good point there, right? Down 17, 67-7. Obviously, they've cut to the lead. That's much better than down 23. But Jared, you do have a point there. And I only say that because I just kind of went through the same thing with my team, one of my best players, and I failed to bench him, and it cost us the game, right? So Jared might have a real point there. It's tough. It's tough when you look down that bench and you don't see a lot of star-studded names, and you have to sub one of those guys in for a star player, and that star player has to sit and watch. And that could go one or two ways, Jared. Things could go good, and then that decision's not as critiqued or criticized. But as a head coach in the NBA, Jared, if that particular move goes bad, the level of criticism that's going to come down your way if you lose is going to be astronomical. So when we talk about these coaches making these types of tough decisions, Jared, a lot of times, it's not always contingent on what's best for the team. Sometimes these coaches be thinking about their job and their livelihood in the NBA. We got King K. Oh, he says Lamont will never learn with LeBron, y'all. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. This is not a love LeBron right now. George Henderson says, I'm not even watching, but I'll bet LeBron crying to the refs. Well, LeBron, that's what he's done his whole career, just like most NBA players. I think LeBron, when he cries to the refs, he lets it compromise his ability to go defend, right? I don't care if you say something to the refs on a dead ball, but you can't stop and say something to the refs after it's led to a turnover and you're not getting back in transition to stop the play. Like, you know, I've seen so many bad plays from LeBron James like that over the last 3 years. That's something that needs to get cut out right there. But that's something also, if you bring in a stern head coach who has the ability to take the reins in that locker room, they can say things. They can say that to LeBron. They can call him out for that. And there's not much pushback. He says, you know what it means. Don't play dumb now. I don't know what it means. But that, King Kale, that's why you're in the chat. You have the opportunity to literally type and dictate exactly what you mean. You don't have to talk in generalities. Just say what you got to say. If it don't coincide with what we've been talking about, then you're just going to look like a fool. Uh-oh, Young Goat says the king has woken up. All right, we got to see, man. We got to see. Jared Thomas says, people, get on LeBron for crying to the refs because some feel like MJ and Kobe. Hold on, Jared. MJ and Kobe cry to the refs just as much, if not more than LeBron. Like I said, there's a ton of stars that cry to refs. I understand that, and I'm not tripping on that. But don't do it in moments that's going to compromise your team. Don't do it when the ball is live. Do it. Draymond Green cries to the refs all the time. Just don't do it when the play is live. He says they're not letting AD get rhythm. They sending doubles on the catch. It was crazy because I read something last night, Young Goat, where it says the Clippers didn't intend to double AD. And I was like, man, you got to be a fool not to double AD with a shorthanded roster. But the AD has to be smart and not force up bad shots. So get the ball into AD. Let the Clippers know that you are going to go into the paint. But what you can't do as AD, you can't force up bad shots over double teams. Pick your poison. But you have to keep the Clippers honest by throwing the ball in there to them. He says they need to run pick and roll for AD, catching lobs. But again, if the Clippers are congesting the paint, if they're finding ways to be sneaky and clog it, it's probably not going to have the same effectiveness. I mean, you can't run pick and roll with everybody as AD misses the free throw right there. AD, who struggled late game this year in with free throws. Can he knock the next one down? These are much needed right here. But once again, you guys, FYF Sports. All right. Lakers cut the lead to 14. Appreciate you guys being here. Game of the day, Lakers versus Clippers. Salute to Edward in the Cash App. Appreciate you, Edward, with the Cash App donation, man. Much appreciated. That's from Edward Moore in the chat. Looks like the Lakers are finding a way to get their offense going. Still down 14. They're going to have to get this to single digits if they want to have a chance going into the fourth. They are winning the rebounding battle. It's a good sign. Generally means you're getting stops. They've increased that field goal percentage from 42 to 48. But can they lower that field goal percentage from the Clippers from the 60s down to the 50s by getting stops? As the Lakers scored another bucket right there. Austin Reaves cuts the lead 67-79. Right? Remember I talked early in this game about the Clippers really making an emphasis of building on this lead late in the game, because I don't know if they have the legs to run with the Lakers late game, because they lack the depth on the bench. The Lakers, who were down 23 to start this quarter, have now cut this lead down to 12, and we still got some time to go in the third, you guys. We'll be coming back from timeout soon. This is FYF Sports. Make sure you guys check out the link in the chat. I want y'all to check out Prize Picks. It's a daily fantasy sports app, and it makes sports betting easy. You only bet on the overs and the unders, points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, all that stuff. You can make your parlays 2, 3, 4, however you want to do it. But man, they definitely simplify it. You're not betting wins or losses, things like that. You just are betting on what you know about each individual player going into each individual night. If you open your account on Prize Picks and you make a deposit tonight, they're going to be giving you a free $100. A free $100 to place bets with. You can deposit $20. You can deposit $5. Anything over $5, and they're giving you $100 free to play with to make your bets. Don't miss out on the Prize Pick app. And that deal, I'm just got notified by my Prize Pick representative that deal is only going to be active tonight. They will match any deposit up to $100. Y'all need to go check out Prize Picks. The link is in the chat. Y'all need to go sign up today using the link in the chat. As we get back to this game, the ebbs and flows of this game, right now the Lakers are on a run, but can they complete the run? They started a run early in this game in the second quarter. They weren't able to complete it, and the Clippers were able to come out with players like Eric Gordon and Norman Powell and completely splash 3 after 3 that put the Lakers out of contention early in this game. Yeah, Young Goat, that's a fire deal. Make sure y'all go to Prize Picks and deposit with the link in the chat, man. You don't want to miss that as the Lakers get another bucket. Anthony Davis, they're finding a way to get to him. They cut this lead down to 8, 71-79. Is this the run that the Lakers need? Is it enough? They still got more work to do. 5 minutes to go in the third. But in 5 minutes in an NBA game, you can give all that back if you're not careful. Can the Lakers not fall into the mistakes that they did last night to make that game against the Utah Jazz close? Are they able to successfully complete this comeback and make this a game in the fourth quarter? We never know, but we'll see how it goes. And it's not going to start there. Clippers with the turnover. That's 13 on the night for the Clippers. The Lakers with the ball, 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And salute to BOKC, Brandon in the chat. I definitely see you in there. Appreciate all of you guys in the chat tonight.
I be on move, cause I want some more. I be on move, cause I want some more. We talk about drugs, talk about guns, we want them funds. I'm thinking like a boss, I think I'm Rick Ross, cause I got that sauce. Don't get it fucked up, my homie like up. Sticky move, don't get it mixed up. Looking down on the mud, all I see is fucking blood. Niggas thought lost luck. Street made me hard, yeah, I lost my heart. Full of thought.
What y'all think about that call?
Middle finger to the ops, let's go. If you don't know me, a little bit cocky, a little bit friendly. No mistake, I'm far away. I can give a fuck about a nigga cause I'm on it. So mistake, I'm far.
Lakers on a 19-3 run in the last 5 minutes. Can they capitalize on this? As we see right there, Lakers forcing another possession unnecessarily in the AD. Makes absolutely no sense. Doesn't make sense at all, some of the things that they're doing. Forcing things in the AD like that. If you run offense, especially that pick and roll that's had some success, maybe now that you're on this run, maybe you can open some things up out of that pick and roll. Maybe it's not something you can spam against this Clipper team, but something more than just trying to dump it in behind the defense with AD. And Zubac with the free throw, 71-81. And again, salute to the subscribers, man. You hear anything on the playlist that you like, we're going to be putting the entire playlist in the description of the video. So make sure you go through that playlist, sort through the songs that you want, and let everybody know where you found the song here on FYF Sports. And the Lakers are missing free throws. They're missing opportunities to capitalize on the opportunities that the Clippers are giving them. When you can get buckets, when the clock is stopped, when you're down, that's what you want. Norman Powell, who's been hot from three, misses one right there. Anthony Davis with the rebound. Can they capitalize? And they gotta, whether it's Vanderbilt, whether it's AD, somebody's gonna have to find a way to stop going 1-1 or 0-2 at the free throw line. They gotta make free throws. They're down. They're trying to come back from a 20-point lead. Lakers with the bucket right there. AD looks like he's got his rhythm going. 74-81. Can the Lakers mount this comeback? And as Jared Thomas said in the chat, Jared Thomas just thinks everybody's choking tonight, y'all. First, he said LeBron was choking. They start making a comeback. He said it's flipped now. Now KD is choking. I I don't know if it's just choking. I just think this is just the ebbs and flows of the game, Jared. You can't choke mid-game. I mean, it's just like you can't choke in the first quarter and then fix it the second quarter. That's not how choking works, right? But the Lakers do foul, put the Clippers back on the free throw line. Been a big issue for them all year, and you're not going to be able to mount a comeback unless the Clippers just start missing free throws just like the Lakers are doing.
Don't care what a nigga gotta say about me. Don't give two fucks enough, cause what they gonna do for me? You want some smoke, come on, and what the fuck you gon' do? Hating on me, I get it, jealousy. Don't care what a nigga gotta say about me. Don't give two fucks enough, cause what they gonna do for me? You want some smoke, come on, and what
Jared Thomas says stars choking under pressure in the same game isn't something you see often. It's not. They're not choking right. You can't choke mid-game. All right. The end result determines what happens. And usually what you do late game determines if you faltered or not. But I don't like to really throw around that choke word a lot when we talk about professional players. Norman Powell with the bucket right there. 4-6 from the field. Puts them back up double digits. 85, 74. Can the Lakers get a much-needed bucket? And the Lakers got to go on a run here to finish out this last 3 minutes of the quarter. Right? They cannot allow – also, as Austin Reaves misses the three, they cannot allow this Clipper team to extend another lead going into the fourth. And like right now, 9-16 from the free throw line on the night. Like imagine if they make their free throws, how much closer this game is, or manageable it is right now. Right? They got to knock these free throws down. When you get these opportunities, the best teams in the league take advantage of these opportunities and make these free throws. He says when they are running plays for Vanderbilt, I don't believe they're running plays for Vanderbilt. If he happens to score, run through the offense, okay. But I don't think there's any play that Darvin Ham is drawing up that's for Vanderbilt. You just can't show me that. But a good offense is going to be designed to give everyone on the floor an option to score. Maybe they're not the first or second option, but you need to have an option for everybody to be used on the offensive side of the ball in some way, shape, or form. Once again, we on FYF Sports. Appreciate everybody that's joining, right? Whether you're watching from Facebook or any other platform, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe when you come in. And support $ FYF Sports on Cash App.
baby, come and spend the night. I really love it if you spend the night. Baby, come and fuck around and spend the night. I really love it if you spend the night. Whoa, now baby, come and spend the night. I really love it if you spend the night.
Norman Powell with the free throw. 2:51 left in this half. And the Lakers are not doing a very good job of cutting into this lead. There have been opportunities. Somebody in the chat said take LeBron out when they on a run. You have to. The end of the third quarter is the best time to take him out. Right? This is an added rest. And he's probably taking him out because he's probably not coming out in the fourth quarter. But the Lakers miss another easy bucket. Easy shot right there. Mason Plumlee with the rebound. He says true, but if AD is the focal point of the offense, scoring, other teams know that he's the focal point. As the Clippers go back up 13, and when other teams know that he's the focal point, what do? They load up on that side, just like they've been doing all night. Schroeder with the bucket right there, quiet night for Schroeder, cuts the lead to 11, but can they get stops? Lakers field goal percentages went up 51%, but the Clippers field goal percentage hasn't went down. They're still shooting in the 60s. When are they going to defend one of these quarters? I think in a team like the Lakers, their ability to defend hinges and is contingent on LeBron James actually defending. Norman Powell misses the three. LeBron with the rebound. Another bucket right there. As they able to get this lead back under 10, 80-89, they got to go on a run. Minute 36 left in this third quarter. He says AD needs to stop forcing shots. What? AD needs to force shots. He has to force the issue. A contested shot from AD is better than an open shot from people like Vanderbilt. It's okay. Minute 15 to go in this half, though. A salute to A Sturdy in the chat, one of the top moderators of the channel, man. Hey, Sturdy, man, you gotta reach out to me, man. We gotta get that segment going, Sturdy. We gotta get that segment Sturdy. Sturdy. I got the perfect segment for you, Sturdy, called Get Sturdy. You get sturdy. Come on over, Sturdy, man. We gotta get your segment. Your whole 2-hour show once a week, man. It's time for you to start rocking out, man. We got to get you live running your own show. You got to hit me up, Sturdy. I got your email. I got to get your contact information. We got to set this up, man. Hey, y'all, boy, it's FYF Sports, man. Lakers, Clippers, live. We about to head into the fourth quarter. Can the Lakers mount a comeback? They've been playing from behind all night. They haven't really shown any signs of life until this third quarter. And I said before the third quarter started, the Lakers have made the bread and butter in the third quarter this year for whatever reason. But they cannot keep doing what they're doing by fouling a guy like Norman Powell, who's 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Right, as you can see right there, Lakers are shooting 61% from the free throw line. That's the difference in this game. This is a 4 or 5 point game if they make free throws. They've cut down on the turnovers. They had 10 in the first half. They only have 13 now. So they've done a good job of valuing the possession, not turning the ball over, but they go back down double digits on Norman Powell's free throws. Jared Thomas, he says, salute, Sturdy. I'm still blocked. It's okay. Where you blocked at, Jared? I see you. How you still blocked, Jared? Lakers get the lead back under 10 with a bucket right there. 25 seconds to go in the half. Lakers offensively are executing a little bit better. Can they finish the half? And they cannot finish the half with a stop as Plumlee is able to make the bucket, pushes the Clippers back up 11. All right, that's it right there. The third quarter, we got 1 quarter of action left. The Lakers are down 11. Can they hold on? Oh, you talking about on True to King channel? All right, Jared, you got to tell True to King about that. He's the only one that can unblock you. And a lot of times, sometimes people get blocked on my channel, and I don't even know they blocked. Until I actually start going, I randomly go through it one day, and I see a ton of people that I need to unblock. Can the Lakers mount a run? We've seen teams come back on the Lakers, and we know that this Clipper team is susceptible to these types of runs. But Kawhi Leonard's been playing pretty good, and we're going to see a lot of him in the fourth quarter. But down to 11, man. They're going to have to put up. That's why I said it's so important to cut this lead, to cut into the lead in the second and third quarter, especially when you get down early. It's so important to win each quarter from that chip into that lead. And I don't know if they did enough of that in the third. They had an opportunity in the second. They didn't do enough in the third. And I think these fouls, sending them to the free throw line a lot, I think it's going to come back to haunt the Lakers tonight if they aren't able to come back. A quieter game from Russell Westbrook than I expected. Quieter game. And how would you guys judge Russell Westbrook's tenure with the Clippers so far? What grade would you give it? Salute to Tay in the chat. Salute to Pedro Grillo. He says, Powell getting to the free throw line like he is Luka. Hey, you're right. Tay says, I think the Lakers got to play Bron on Kawhi and Vandal on Powell. Yes, because his three-point shooting is killing him. And it's primarily because we know Vanderbilt's going to defend the three-point line. LeBron James really, over the last 3 years, has been really kind of lackluster defending threes. I mean, it's hard to consistently close out on shooters, especially in today's game. It takes that little burst of energy to go out and defend and run out on those shooters. AG, the great, he gives Russell Westbrook a grade C. Jared gives him a B. He says, very good and efficient for Russ in a Clipper uniform. Pedro, he says B for Russ. I think these are fair grades. I would say B minus for Russ. He says, yeah, he looked pretty good on Kawhi later on in the third with him denying the ball. Yep. Craig says, Darvin scam. Yeah, why y'all be blaming Darvin Ham so much? He a first-year coach. Tay says Russ was great in the first half, so I think B plus. I mean, I didn't mean just for this game, though, Tay. I meant for the entire tenure with the Clippers. Ever since he's been there, how would you grade him? And we got an unlikely hero tonight in Norman Powell with 23 points. And we got one more quarter of action, y'all. 12 minutes of basketball. Can the Lakers cut into this lead? Lakers start with the ball. Lakers missed their first shot at the half. Rui Hachimura. And the Clippers make their first shot. Bones Highland knocks down the three, extends his lead to 14. Not the start that they hoped for. He says Ham is a terrible coach. Doesn't know how to call timeout. He says Ham is a terrible coach. Dude's rotations suck. I mean, what is rotation supposed to be? As they miss another shot right there, what is he supposed to do? And when you got guys consistently missing shots, and I don't like to start to this third. Clippers starting this third quarter off great. Started off with back-to-back threes and stops on both possessions. So they've already extended this lead back up to close to almost 20 in two possessions within 1 minute. Going into the fourth. And the Lakers, just like they couldn't do against Utah last night, they're struggling to defend the three-point line. They gave up a late three to Abachi. They gave up a late three to Kelly Olynyk. They don't defend the three-point line very well, and they hope that their twos match other teams' threes. And that's not the case. Down 99-84. Salute to T Streets in the chat. He says you can't let Norman Powell get a line drive to the hoop every play. Where's the resistance from the bigs? That's true, T Streets. But again, line drives to the hoops, everything starts on the perimeter. You gotta. I don't ask guards of today's game. I'm not asking them to stay in front the entire time while guys are super shifty and just trying to cross you on every play. But you have to put up, like T Streets just said, you have to put up some level of resistance to buy your help defense time to rotate over. Salute to Bootzilla. He says, well, that might be it for the Lakers. That's true. We got Pedro. He says, Schroeder, today is a definition of an NP. Salute to you guys, man. FYF Sports, man. Glad to have you here, man. While you're here, like I said, man, we got a lot going on with the channel. Make sure you guys donate. $ FYF Sports to support the channel. Jared, you said Darvin Ham doesn't use his bench enough. He overplays his starters. Well, Jared, that's every team in the league. Not every team in the league has the luxury of having a deep or great bench. Clippers are still shooting above 60% from the floor, you guys. Shooting above 60% from the floor as they knock down another three right there. Yeah, y'all see the common theme here? This is where their weakness lies. Remember what I told you guys. I said this Clipper team is going to present a tough matchup for somebody. And if I don't know how it would be even possible to unfold, but if it ever matched up in the playoffs, the Lakers wouldn't stand a chance. D'Angelo Russell, who's been quiet in the third, starts the fourth, gets a bucket right there. But can they get stops? 8:49 to go. 17 points with 9 minutes to go. It's not a far-gone conclusion. It's possible with the three ball today, but the Lakers aren't taking threes. The Lakers are shooting twos. They're down 13 right now. And like I said, that 1 minute stretch in the first minute of the game, is what did it for them. They allowed 2 back-to-back threes, and that's what essentially put this game out of reach. Like, they're going to be able to look to a ton of different things in this game if they end up losing. To be like, okay, if we would have fixed this, if we would have addressed this, if we would have defended the three-point line a little bit more aggressively here, we could have had a chance to win. They didn't do those things. This Laker team, and this is why I felt like they needed a veteran coach in there, because the Lakers lose games because of the small things. Like, y'all keep blaming Darvin Ham and coaching. They're not losing because of Darvin Ham coaching or subs. They are losing because they give inconsistent effort on a night in and night out basis. Because they get lackluster and they don't pay attention to detail late in games or in the fourth quarter. Or if they go on a run or get a big lead, they don't have the discipline to maintain that lead. They get too casual. They start playing around with teams. They start taking bad shots. And they wonder why a team like the Utah Jazz or even a team like the Houston Rockets and these teams have been competitive against them, while other teams beat them by 20 and 30 points. Pedro says, FYF, who in the Lakers is reliable for the three? What do you mean? Shooting threes or defending the threes? Craig Stevens says it's all because of the coach. You could say that. But in the NBA, I don't believe that these coaches aren't teaching these basic things. These are all basic fundamental things. And you have a ton of assistants who are all doubling down on this stuff as well. I mean, this is why I told people the one thing with Russell Westbrook that you don't have to coach is energy and effort. See, what Russell Westbrook will always have a job in the NBA because he has something that a lot of players don't know how to bring every night. Energy and effort. I can coach that. I can coach up the turnovers. I can coach up the bad shots. I can help him get a decent three-point shot. But I cannot. And coaches struggle with coaching guys that give inconsistent effort, especially on the defensive side of the ball. No, I'm not saying it's not the coach, Craig Stevens. What I'm saying is I don't believe that a coach can emphasize or say anything he wants. But if you don't have the voice for those things to resonate, like if Popovich was coaching the Lakers, his voice would resonate. And he would demand that these players take accountability for the small mistakes. And because they chose to bring in a coach with no cachet, with no credibility, how can he talk to the vets on the Lakers and tell them about some of the smallest, most minute things on a basketball court? How can he go to LeBron James and consistently tell him to box out? But when you bring in a rookie head coach who has no cachet, his voice isn't going to have as much of an impact in the locker room. Again, I don't blame Darvin Ham for that because that's not something he can control. But this is what you get when you bring in a rookie head coach. Bones Highland, he knocks down his third three in the fourth quarter. Norman Powell, the Lakers are going to have to walk away from this game knowing that Bones Highland and Norman Powell beat them. Not Kawhi Leonard, not Russell Westbrook, but Bones Highland and Norman Powell beat them. Facts, Craig Stevens. And you have to give credit to the Clippers for taking advantage of it. They've done a good job of taking advantage of it. I mean, LeBron James scores right there. He cuts the lead down to 14. But once again, these are our buckets are all a foregone conclusion. When they can't string together, if they can't string together possessions, as Zubac again scores right there, pushes the lead up to 16. Like when we keep saying names of players that are scoring, we're saying Zubac, Bones Highland, and Norman Powell. We're not talking about star-studded, superstar, all-star caliber players. These are all role players that are picking them apart. And when you find a team like the Clippers and the role players are picking you apart, that's your defense falling apart. That's you not paying attention to small things on defense. All comes back to you having a stern voice in the locker room, making these guys accountable on the defensive end. Remember what Pat Beverly said when he left, and he did an interview on his channel about the Lakers. What did he say? He says, I'm a defensive player. I've been in this league a long time, but he would say stuff. And because it wouldn't be backed up by the head coach, because you're dealing with a young head coach, he says LeBron and AD were like, all right, we heard you, but we're going to do something else. But we're talking about one of the better defenders in the league on the perimeter. But you don't want to take his advice. Ramon says, so the responsibility falls on the front office because they hired. Yes, it does. And the front office is responsible for understanding the roster that you have. They have to understand the mental makeup of their roster. Bones Highland with another bucket right there. Bones Highland is dominating the fourth quarter. Norman Powell dominating the fourth quarter with another steal right there. And they score again. The game is over. Up 20, 112-92. And it looks like Ty Lue is going to go 11-0 versus this Clipper team. Jared Thomas says it falls on the coach to lead the team. Ham is not doing it. At the end of the day, we're talking about the NBA, you guys. We're not talking about high school or middle school where the head coach, no matter how competent he is always going to be the biggest voice. Right? Jared, if you go coach a middle school team, when you're older and you're going to present yourself to be wiser than everybody else, you're going to have the locker room. In the NBA, you don't have that luxury. You're dealing with guys who are all stars on lesser levels. All of these guys were the stars of the team in high school. They were all stars in college. And some of them were stars on their own teams and other NBA teams. If you don't bring in a head coach that can manage the egos and control the locker room, it don't matter what you have X's and O's wise. It ain't going to work. It don't matter. Like a lot of people when they talk about Phil Jackson's so great. He had the triangle offense. First of all, Phil Jackson didn't even come up with the triangle. That was Tex Winters on the bench. And to be honest, the triangle offense is not a very good offense. It's clutter. It's ISO dominated. It's not the best offense in the world. But if you have a coach that can manage egos and you get your team to believe that this offense will work, they'll run it to death and make it work. But there's a reason why nobody in the league today really runs triangle. They might run principles, but it's not a very good offense. A box and one defense is not a very good defense, but I literally watched Steve Kerr convince the Warriors to run it, and they ran it with success. I watched the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra run a standard 2-3 zone in the NBA because the players respect him and respect his basketball acumen. They ran it with intensity and effort, and it worked. Darvin Ham can drop any play that he wants. But if Bron and AD don't think the play is going to work, they can run it 100 times. It's never going to work if your players don't buy into the voice. Haas says a triangle. Okay. The triangle, as the Chicago Bulls ran it, has not been around. The triangle is a philosophy. Phil Jackson and Tex Winter's philosophy out of the triangle has never been duplicated. Every offense, almost every offense, is predicated on building some type of triangle. But nobody's offense has been predicated on building a triangle with a guy hugged up on the three-point line, another guy on the high elbow, and then a guy in the corner. Your spacing is completely shattered. We got Amir Ahmad. He comes through out of the shadows. I haven't seen you in a minute. But he says, good game, easy work. Lakers coach suck. Look at it. Like the Clippers fans just crawl out from under rocks whenever they get a win. But they go into hiding when they get on them losing streaks. Amir Ahmad, when they go on another losing streak, they fall to that ninth spot. Don't go into hiding. I want to see you loud and proud be a Clipper fan. I ain't seen your profile a while in a minute. Don't disappear. Salute to AG the Great, man. I see AG the Great's been in here. He's been in here 5 minutes to go. Clipper ball. We got Amir Ahmad. He says the rebounding and the turnovers in the third quarter is why the Lakers made a run in the third. Other than that, they didn't do anything else. Well, of course, Amir. We've been talking about that all night. Nah, Amir, I'm just messing with you. I understand. Salute to you for pulling up the FYF Sports Store. Much appreciated. And they're not going to get back into this game if they can't make threes. And they're missing them. D'Angelo Russell's not making them. This is a playoff atmosphere style of game. This is a must-win type of game. If they can't win this type of game, how can you trust them in the play-in? LeBron James with 23 on the night. Anthony Davis, not a very significant night as well. Russell with 13. Reaves with 12. Again, Kawhi Leonard with a quiet 23. Norman Powell with 23 as well. They both are shooting very efficiently from the field. Zubac with 15 and Russell Westbrook with a quiet 14. Zubac with a double-double there, 15 and 11. Salute to DeJuan Gorman. He says this game's over. Darius Beal says Ham has been bad with his lineups. How? How's he been bad with his lineups? Like there's no substitution he could have made today that would have stopped, that would have gave the Laker 5-man unit on the floor more energy and effort. And the best rotation that they had on the floor, where you eventually got to start subbing guys out because they get tired. And if you don't, then that unit in and of itself is going to get compromised because they're fatigued. I mean, we can always look to he should have subbed this guy in and that guy in. Substitutions don't win games. I've never heard anybody say, yeah, the coach made a clutch substitution right there. That was one of the greatest substitutions I've ever seen. Y'all honestly and truly don't care about subs, nor do you understand how subs is supposed to be made, let alone in a professional NBA game where the first 4 or 5 substitutions are usually all scripted. Like if you're going to talk about Ham, talk about certain schemes that they run that you don't like. Like when you talk about how the offense is stagnant. But don't get into substitutions and things of that nature. You guys, because you guys could get paid $10 million to do that job and you guys would still mess up just as much as you think any other guy messes up. There's no such thing as a perfect substitution. Hey, DeJuan Gorman, they haven't beaten. Ever since LeBron's been there, I don't think they've beaten the Clippers. Ty Lue is about to be 11-0 versus the Lakers since LeBron's been there. Craig Stevens says, if Ham is a good coach, don't you think he would give up now and look towards the next game? Okay, but no, you don't give up in an NBA game, one. And secondly, whenever you're in a late game situation, this is where you can work on sets. You can work on late game stuff. There's still a ton you can work on. And what better time to work on it live against a good team like the Clippers? Certain late game sets, certain ATOs, certain pick and roll reads. I mean, if you're going to lose, you might as well get some work in and you start working on things. So sometimes when you guys see star players not come out, well, this is the end of the season. They still got to find rhythm and all these things. So you always got to be working on different aspects of the game. So it's not about just sitting guys out, giving up. Nobody does that. Okay, should the Utah Jazz yesterday with a minute and a half to go have subbed out all their down 10, subbed out all their guys and given up? But because they decided to stay in the game and work on different sets, different ATOs, different actions, they went on a 10-0 run, tied the game, pushed in overtime, and almost won last night. You don't give up on games. There's a ton to still accomplish there. Amir Moss says, what did AD do tonight? Nothing. Long story short, he did nothing. Uncle P said it's to 10 or 11. I don't know what it is, Uncle P, but it's a lot to a little. That's how I like to define it. It's a lot to a little. We got Ramon Hope. Salute to Super Taj World. He says they only beat the Clips one time in the bubble since LeBron been in LA. Yeah, I do remember that. Uh-oh, the Lakers cut it to 16. AD makes a bucket right there. Not enough time. They're not a good enough three-point shooting team. And they don't know how to lock in defensively. This Laker team is going to struggle in the playoffs against a good team because they don't defend at enough positions elite enough to not foul. And their fouling gets them in too much trouble. LeBron James with the block though. Right? Too little, too late for the Lakers. Bobby Porter's with a big night for the Bucks, 27-13 with Giannis sitting out this one right here. Big night for Bobby Porter and the Bucks as they get the win over the Chicago Bulls. This Bucks team is getting slept on as LeBron James knocks down the free throw, cuts the lead to 13, 103-116. Looks like they're trying to make it so it doesn't look like it got blown out. They trying to make it look reasonable. Woo, Jaren Jackson Jr. with 40 points tonight. What a game right there, man. What a game. Herb Jones with 35, CJ with 31 as the Clippers get the bucket. Zubac scores the 2. 6-9 from the field, 118-103. Lakers, who needed a stop right there, don't get it. Lakers are shooting 10 of 28 from the three-point line tonight. AD misses the 3. They scored a bucket there on the rebound. Vanderbilt scores it. Still too little, too late. 2 minutes to go, 105-118. Hey, Amir, Zubac always kills this Laker team for whatever reason. And it's because they haven't. I think one of the worst moves for the Lakers is not finding a way to use Andre Drummond. Because I think Andre Drummond is the perfect player to put alongside AD because he doesn't need to score. He doesn't want those post touches. He simply will score a ton of cleanup buckets. He's going to rebound. And he's the complete opposite of, and he can also guard that opposing big that's killing on the glass. He's a big body that's going to move people around. Another reason why they could have potentially, and they should have probably potentially went after a player like Boogie Cousins. Eats up space, can do everything. LeBron James knocks down the 3 right there, 108-118. Minute 19 to go, Clippers with the ball. He says Ham should play LeBron and AD 33 to 35 minutes a game. Play his bench more minutes. What bench? What bench? Jared, you talk like they have a deep elite bench. They don't. You got to stop, man. They don't. This stellar bench that you want us to believe that they don't have it. They just don't have it. And then when they get to when they get to subbing these bench guys in, this is when fans start complaining and calling for guys to get traded, like you did with Russell Westbrook. Oh, they're playing Russell Westbrook off the bench too much. Oh, they're playing Wenyen Gabriel too much. So no matter what Darvin Ham does with these substitutions, you guys are going to find a way to say he's doing a bad job anyway. It don't matter. He said Wenyen Gabriel made Zubac look like Kareem. Why y'all sleep on Zubac, though? Zubac's a good player. D West, he says they going to say they kept the starters out too long. Facts, D West. Like, it don't matter what Darvin Ham does. Fans are going to say he's not doing a good job. Craig Stevens. Austin Reaves is tired because there's no competent sub to sub him out for. He's arguably their most valuable player. You can't take him out because there's no subs to sub him out with. You can't replace his production with anybody on that bench. So, of course, it's you keep him in and you try to buy him rest whenever you can. Jared Thomas says, Boogie Cousins is not horrible on defense. And if you bring in a Boogie Cousins, you're not asking him to go in there and stop Giannis. Y'all acting like scrubs were just dropping 40s on Boogie Cousins. They weren't. I told you, y'all have such, especially people like Jared, y'all have such a weird perception of what a good defender is. People keep saying that Boogie Cousins is now a bad. No, people weren't just running around dropping 30. Like, you had to be a good player to drop 30 on Boogie Cousins. Wenyen Gabriel wasn't dropping no 30 on Boogie Cousins. Craig Stevens said, but at the end of the day, even when you have Wenyen Gabriel in, he's an undersized big. So having Wenyen Gabriel in, he has good energy, he has good effort. He's still an undersized big. If you're playing the Cavs, he's going to be outsized by true centers of the NBA. Right? When he's going up against a Valanciunas or Steven Adams or players like that, he's going to get outsized at the center spot. Clippers score right there, 122-111. Norman Powell. Austin Reaves knocks down a 3. 114-122. 45 seconds to go in this game. Look, the Lakers don't look like they completely going away. They trying to make the score look like it was kind of close, even though this has been a foregone conclusion. I mean, the Clippers don't close this out. They just need to wrap it up, man. They need to just go ahead and shut this whole season down if they can't finish this game. You said I like Boogie, but I think Boogie hasn't played in the league because I don't think people trust him in the locker room. I don't think it's because of skill. I think Boogie Cousins did a ton of damage to his reputation in the locker room. And I think once he damaged his reputation in the locker room, and he's not willing to be that locker room leader as well as a guy coming off the bench. If he's not willing to do those, if he's not adding that max value right there, then nobody's willing to bring him in, which is why people didn't bring Carmelo in. And a lot of these older players are not trying to come in and be mentors to the young players. They're trying to come in and steal the young players' minutes, and that's that. The Lakers should have kept Howard, but they had the same problem there. It wasn't worth the headache that he was bringing and complaining and crying about his minutes. That's the problem. FYF, AD's playing too far off the basket. No pick and rolls either. Yeah, but the Clippers are a pretty solid defense. You're not just going to pick and roll them to death. Clippers shooting 16 and 36 from the three-point line today. That's what's the big difference, man. The Lakers' weakness ended up being the Clippers' strength today. It's Bones Hyland, who had crucial 11-point stretch in the top of the fourth quarter that essentially put this game away. Crucial 11-point stretch. Amir says Bones Hyland could be no, he can't be a big time guard. Amir, he's not going to be a big time guard. He's not a big time guard. It is what it is. I mean, I know it sounds good. He might show you flashes. There's a reason why he's not a big time guard yet, because he's not. D West says, I don't know what's going on. I don't believe they thought he could score well enough. I mean, Malik Beasley's good, and he's a good offensive player, but is his offense good enough to make up for his poor defense? I don't know. There's a trade-off there as a coach. What do I want to trade off? Is he giving me, if maybe on one of those nights, if he's hot, if he's making shots, you leave him in and you live with his defense. If he's not making shots, is this defense good enough to keep him on the floor? Jared, he can't be a star. He's not a star. Guys who are stars in the league usually show star promise. He's not a star. He's a good player. He's going to always have a job coming off the bench, but he's not a star in this league. I mean, if you're just using a few good moments to say he's a star, that means Jeremy Lin was a star. Being a star takes far more than what Bones Hyland has given us. Thank you, Amir. He's a six-man type. He's not a star. He's not a starter. He's not none. He could potentially start, but he's not a star. Not even close. In another game, y'all, where LeBron James is a leading scorer. Last night, LeBron James was a leading scorer. They barely eked out a win. Tonight, he's the leading scorer, and now they're losing. Y'all see a trend here? But on their win streak, AD's the leading scorer. What happens? They're blowing teams out. They're winning. LeBron has to allow AD to be the best offensive player on this team, even if it takes multiple touches to get him going. He says a really big time six and light up teams. That's facts, but he's not a star. I didn't say he couldn't light teams up. He's definitely an offensive power, but he's not a star in this league, and he will never be a star in this league. You said I'm frozen. It should be fixed now. I should be frozen. I was frozen, Ote. But this game's over, y'all. How do y'all feel about it? What are y'all thoughts on this game, Lakers? They had a good win streak going. They weren't able to capitalize. A lot of people were saying this was the game of the year. Moneyball says we cannot beat the Clippers shoot. Hey, Moneyball, I said the exact same thing earlier. I said while the Lakers are making these twos, Clippers are making threes. And if you're going to be a team that's going to be dominant from inside the three-point line, you better be able to defend on the other side, because you're not gonna catch them. And they're playing defense like they can score with teams. Ramon Hope says, I agree with you, Lamont, but AD has to show that he wanted to. I mean, it's hard though, but because you got to think, Ramon, it's hard night in, night out. Do you know how many times AD post up and passes are coming late and things like that, man? It's never gonna work right. Passes are coming late, right? Sometimes the ball might be on the other side of the floor when you get good position, right? Teams are sending doubles when you don't even have the ball. So guys get scared to even throw the ball in As we saw multiple, how many times tonight did you see LeBron James trying to force it into AD and it was a turnover? And at the end of the day, okay, he didn't have it going, but you can't let Norman Powell beat you. That's the problem there. You can't let Norman Powell and Bones Highland beat you. You can't let Bones Highland hit 3 threes and a 2-pointer early in the fourth quarter and allow that to beat you. Right? If you're going to lose, you got to make Kawhi Leonard come out there and beat you. You got to make Russell Westbrook go demand the ball and beat you. But now they got to walk away from this game. Norman Powell, who's been struggling for the last 3 months, has dropped 27 on him. Match is over. Lakers lose this one. They give up an opportunity. They lose 125-118. They blow a big-time opportunity, you guys. And Tyronn Lue's dominance over the Lakers continues. So a team that's coming off 2 losses, they're now sitting in prime position, 6 in the West to hold on to that spot. And so now the Lakers, by losing this game, their destiny is no longer in their control. Right? Right now, they're going to be fighting to stay in the play-in. And that's what it looks like. And this again. And what hurts them is, what's going to hurt them is that what happens now is, now you think back to this season, in the loss to the Pacers, in the loss to the Mavericks. The 2 defensive breakdowns against the Pacers. LeBron James, defensive breakdown that cost you the game. Against the Mavericks, defensive breakdown. Anthony Davis cost you that game. Bet you wish you could have that game back. AD sitting out against the Houston Rockets. You lose that game. Bet you wish you could have those 3 wins back, because you're taking the regular season so casually. You want to sit out back-to-backs. You don't want to lock down and defend late game because they don't take the game very seriously. AD doesn't make those mistakes if you have a stern head coach in there saying, we're up 2. Only a 3 can beat us. Defend the 3-point line. Lock in. Don't run off and leave your man away from your assignment because a guy's driving inside. They did it. LeBron did it. AD did it. 2 games. If they had those games back, this game doesn't even really mean as much. And so when they put themselves in this situation, these are mistakes where I can't look back and blame no Darvin Ham. There's nothing a coach can do when you got players making mental mistakes like that. And in a game like tonight, what can Darvin Ham do? I mean, does he need to go inject them with meth or something just to get them hyped up and ready to play for this game? What does he got to do to get this team to play with life in meaningful games? And that's what we're looking at right there. Exactly, Young Go. He says when they scored 9 points in a minute. It's moments like that that cost them. And like I said, they're going to look back to a ton of games and a ton of moments. And they're going to have to find a way to reconcile that. I don't know how. They're going to have to find a way to reconcile that. Craig said throw a clipboard. He said if I was Darvin Ham, my message would have been to protect the 3-point line, make them shoot 2s. Yes, I'm sure Darvin Ham said that. But protecting the 3-point line takes energy, effort, and you have to be able to communicate on defense. The Lakers do neither. They don't communicate on defense, and they don't defend with energy and effort. The only one that actually gives a ton of energy and effort, especially on the perimeter, is Schroeder. But now that LeBron James is back, Schroeder's usage goes into the garbage can because now LeBron James is back to running the offense, who Schroeder actually did a much better job at it. That's a fact. And the Lakers lose this game right here. And a ton of bad habits that have haunted them all season has come back to bite them once again. And so again, definitely appreciate you guys pulling up to FYF Sports. we're going to be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow with another live stream. We're going to select the game of the day tomorrow. Don't know what it is yet. I got to look through the matches, but we will be selecting that game, and we'll be back tomorrow to run through another game because, again, that play-in is becoming more and more relevant now. We're getting towards the end of the season. Jared says that's why that loss is Darvin Ham. LeBron woke up and got tired. Nope, that's not it. They played lazy. They played lazy in the second quarter when they made a run and then let them extend the lead back up to 15. They played lazy at the start of the fourth quarter when they let Bones Highland run off 11 points. Energy, effort, laziness. This has nothing to do with X's and O's. It has nothing to do with substitution. It has nothing to do with Darvin Ham. It has something to do with the players on the court not being accountable, not being leaders, and not. I mean, there's only so much a coach can say and do. A coach cannot save them from the problems that they had tonight. Jared Thomas, as much as you want to blame LeBron, he did score 33 points. This was not just LeBron. Like, yeah, I think some of y'all like Jared are so thirsty and desperate to find one individual person to blame when it's a collective effort. This was a team loss, right? Some of y'all are so thirsty just to blame one star person. This was LeBron. LeBron choked. Kawhi Leonard choked. AD didn't be aggressive. Darvin Ham didn't make the right sub. No. How about you just look to the entire team? This was a loss that was garnered collectively, y'all. King Charles says, Lamont, that's a lie. Dennis did not run the offense better than LeBron. When LeBron James was injured, Schroeder ran the offense great. And if LeBron James, since he's been back, he's not been able to run the offense as efficiently as Schroeder had it running. That's a fact. Am I saying that Schroeder's a better player than LeBron? No. But for stretches this year, Schroeder's ran the offense much better than LeBron. He says D'Lo should have played last game, so we would have won easier. But D'Lo's dealing with injury issues himself. So I think they were saying, okay, maybe we can rest D'Lo, bring him back for this game. He can help us get the win. He didn't. And as long as this Laker offense is going through LeBron James and he's doing most of the scoring, they're going to struggle to win games. It's just how it is. But you guys, you know what, you guys, we're going to make sure we go ahead and get this one wrapped up. I definitely appreciate you guys pulling through for the stream. Back tomorrow. We're going to have an open panel tomorrow, so you guys should be able to pull up tomorrow and give y'all thoughts on some of the things we're seeing in the NBA. Obviously, we're going to have some topics to talk about as well, NBA related. So get back to a few NBA hot topic discussions. Again, I want to get away from the debates that are solely focused on the past, comparing the past to the present and all that nonsense, right? It's headed into playoff time. It's time to move past that. We can get back to those types of debates this summer. But right now, we have to get to what's going on in the playoffs, the teams that's playing in the best, the MVP conversation, the MVP narratives. We haven't even talked about Defensive Player of the Year. Who get that this year? What teams in the East can be a surprise team? Do we still believe in the Miami Heat? Teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the best defensive teams in the league. Everybody preaches and runs around saying that they love defense, but nobody's giving the Cleveland Cavaliers a chance. I want to know why. How? King Charles says, Lamont, have you seen Dennis run the offense? Like, really? Yes, I have. And he runs it pretty good. Why do y'all act like you act like I'm just saying this like I haven't seen him run the offense and have success? Yes. I've watched them do it, and they've had success. You know, it is what it is. Salute to One Cool P. Good night to you as well. Like I said, we will be back. Salute to everybody that hit the Cash App to donate towards the channel. I saw one. If I did miss your Cash App, I do apologize. I'll make sure I get it across the board tomorrow when we are live, and I'll get your name on the screen, and I'll give you a just due for supporting the channel. But you guys, it's FYF Sports, man. It's been another great podcast episode. Lakers lose to the Clippers. They move to 41-39. Still above 500, but they're still in a precarious situation. They don't control their destiny. They have to win out to give themselves a chance. And they have some tough games, primarily one against the Phoenix Suns that they now must win to avoid dropping further in the standings. The Clippers did a good job, right? They were on a losing streak. They did what they needed to do to stay afloat and to stay as a top 6 seeds. They're trying to stay away, and they're trying to stay in that optimal spot, that 6th spot, going against the Kings in the first round. Very winnable series if they can stay there. Can they finish the season out strong and stay in that 6th spot? But like I said, we'll see how things pan out. We'll look at the games tomorrow. We'll get back to it tomorrow. Open panel tomorrow, so if you guys want to pull out, be ready to hit the link and pull up. There's been a ton of people in the comments that have been crying about me not going live and giving you an opportunity to pull up. I want to see you same people pull up when I do go live and I have an open panel. I've been going away from the open panels because there's just a ton of people that don't know how to stay focused in on the conversation, and they try to take the conversation places that it's not supposed to go. We have people like Herm, and then you have people that just yell and talk, and they try to dominate the entire channel. That's not happening, man. So again, we got to take back a little bit of control, reel it in. Let's get back to what we do best. But it's FYF Sports, man. Another great podcast episode. We'll be back with more sports and news. Until then, it's FYF Sports, and we out.